Have you ever wondered why the Romans were so obsessed with gladiatorial games? This fascination finds its roots in Etruscan funerary rites, where blood was spilled to honor the dead. The Romans, ever the innovators, adopted this tradition and morphed it into a form of mass entertainment. These spectacles of courage, endurance, and the fight to the death were unlike any other. The Colosseum, the grand amphitheater in the heart of Rome, became the main stage for these games. With its vast seating capacity, it could accommodate over 50,000 spectators, all gathered to witness the enthralling combat between gladiators. These warriors were often slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals who were trained to fight to their last breath, their lives gambled away for the sole purpose of entertaining the masses. The Colosseum, a symbol of Rome's might, bore witness to countless battles fought for the sole purpose of entertaining the masses. But what was the purpose behind these brutal spectacles, you might ask? Well, the gladiatorial games were not merely a form of entertainment. They were a multifaceted tool of the Roman Empire. On one hand, they were a means of social control, a distraction, if you will, that kept the populace entertained and diverted from the harsh realities of life. On a grander scale, they were a display of Roman power. By showcasing the might of the empire through the spectacle of conquered peoples fighting to the death, Rome demonstrated its supremacy to its citizens and the wider world. And let's not forget their religious roots. The games were seen as a way to appease the gods, a throwback to their origins as funeral rites, and the gladiators themselves. Despite being slaves, prisoners, or condemned criminals, they were paradoxically revered as celebrities. Despite their short and brutal lives, gladiators were the superstars of their time, revered and admired by the populace. The arena was not just a man's world. Women too fought as gladiatrices, challenging societal norms. In the heart of the Colosseum, amid the roar of the crowd, women occasionally stepped into the arena, their appearances as gladiators both rare and sensational. These fierce women defied the traditional roles assigned to them in Roman society, blurring the lines of gender norms and expectations, and captivating spectators with their courageous displays. But as with many aspects of society, the gladiatorial games were not beyond reproach. Even in those ancient times, voices of dissent echoed among the cheers. The likes of Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, questioned the moral implications of the games. He condemned the bloodlust, the thrill of the spectacle, and the perverse pleasure spectators derived from the suffering of others. Even in ancient times, the games were not without their critics, who condemned the joy spectators found in the suffering of others. The gladiatorial games did not last forever. By the 5th century AD, they had fallen into decline. The decline of these bloody spectacles was a complex process influenced by several factors. As the Roman Empire started to crumble, societal values began to shift. The once revered virtues of strength, courage, and endurance embodied by the gladiators were being replaced by a new set of values emphasizing peace, compassion, and humility. These changing values were reflected in the arena, where the brutal gladiatorial combats began to lose their appeal. Economic pressures also played a part in the decline. The games were expensive to stage, requiring vast resources and considerable logistical planning. As the empire's economy faltered, the resources simply weren't there to sustain the games on the scale they had once enjoyed. A significant factor in the decline of the gladiatorial games was the rise of Christianity. The Church was a vocal critic of the games, condemning them as immoral and ungodly. As Christianity grew in influence, it became increasingly difficult for the games to continue. By the 5th century AD, the Grand Colosseum, once the heart of Rome's social and cultural life, had fallen into disuse, marking the end of an era that had captivated the Roman world for nearly 1,000 years. Yet the legacy of the gladiatorial games endures. They have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. Today, the games are immortalized in films, books, and art, serving as a symbol of the might and spectacle of ancient Rome. They continue to captivate us with their tales of courage, endurance, and the fight to the death. However, the gladiatorial games also serve as a stark reminder of our fascination with violence as entertainment. They force us to confront the darker aspects of our human nature, the bloodlust and the joy we derive from the suffering of others. The legacy of the gladiatorial games endures, a symbol of the might and spectacle of ancient Rome, but also a stark reminder of our fascination with violence as entertainment.